Hi everybody, kumusta kayo? If you know what that means, let me know if I pronounced that correctly. I try to practice it, but I think it sounds odd. Anyway, we're going to be doing a CELPIP listening practice. I know that it's quite hard to find sample listening practice for task 5, listening to a discussion, so I thought of making a video for you guys. First, let me say that the sample that you're about to watch is going to be a bit more difficult. The good news is, if you can answer all the questions at the end, then you probably won't have problems with the actual test questions. And before we watch the clip, first, let's go over some key information that you need to know. Number 1. In the test, you will only hear the discussion once. Before you begin, there will be a short explanation about the topic of discussions as well as introduction of the speakers. The questions will consist of 8 multiple choice questions, and you can see all of them at once. If you aim to get a high score, you definitely need to take notes because the sheer amount of information may overwhelm you if you just rely on your memory as you listen. During the test, you need to know who the speakers are, potentially their roles too. For example, are they coworkers, friends, and so on. Identify the topic of the discussions and the opinions of the speakers. They will most likely have different opinions, and you may also consider their feeling in that situation, whether they're happy, upset, worried, etc. Don't overlook the details that you hear too. Any piece of information you hear can potentially be the answer. And one last thing before we start, some quick suggestions on how you can organize your notes. Have a table with a column for each speaker, and feel free to use abbreviations and initials. Let's say this again, because you only listen to the audio once, prioritize listening over writing. It's more difficult to follow the dialogue after you miss what a speaker said. By the way, I'd like to invite you to like the video and subscribe to the channel. When you do that, it'll be easier for other people to find this video. Now, let's watch our video clip. This clip is taken from a talk show on TV where the panels talk about a recent confrontation involving a boy and a Native American elder. You can find the questions and answers after the clip. Let's take a look.
Now, this weekend, social media, honey, attacked Kentucky private school kids for this confrontation with the Native American Vietnam veteran when different rallies converged in D.C. So the school kids were blamed for being the aggressors. But then the extended footage was released that showed a group of black Israelites mocking the kids and the Native American. So many people admitted they made snap judgments before these other facts came in. But is it that we just instantly say that's what it is based on what we see in that moment and then have to walk stuff back when it turns out we're wrong? Why is that? Do we keep making the same mistake?
Because we're desperate to get Trump out of office.
Right, but let's talk about the kids in this particular
All right.
confrontation, since that's the question at hand.
I think a collective, we as a society jump to judgment today, and you believe whatever you want to believe. If you see that video and it helps the narrative that you believe in, then I think we're quick to jump on that. The worst part of this whole thing was that, because this was MLK weekend, and it was, of course, honoring Martin Luther King, and those were the very steps where this happened, where he gave the I Have a Dream speech back in 1963. I can't imagine what he would say today if he watched all of that play out. And we're still here, and we're still experiencing hate from every walks of life. I still think there's so much more good, by the way, in this country than bad, but watching that over the weekend was just, it was really sad.
A little evil goes a long way, don't you think?
Too far, yeah.
We don't have much time.
I know.
I watched hours of the controversy, and, as a practicing Catholic, I just kept on coming back to the same point. Where were the chaperones? Where were the adults? I thought it was such a teachable moment for everyone there. These were kids. These were 16-year-old kids. you know, you have a 16-year-old, he was smirking. He says he was silently praying. I don't know, when I pray, I don't smirk. And again, afterwards, he gets a PR firm that sends this note. And so instead of teaching him as an adult, you know, maybe take some responsibility, there's still no teachable moment. So where are the adults in this?
Here are the questions for you. For the purpose of this exercise, if there are questions that you can't answer, you can try watch the video one more time before you check the answers. Remember that in the test, you cannot do that. You only have one chance to watch it. Now I'll give you the answers. Number 1. Why did people on social media attack the Kentucky school kid? The answer is C. He confronted a Native American Vietnam veteran. In the beginning of the clip, you hear that the reason for the attack is this confrontation with the Native American Vietnam veteran. Number 2. What issue does Whoopi possibly had against the social media users? The answer is D. They made accusations without enough evidence. Whoopi made this comment that so many people admitted they made snap judgments. So when you make a snap judgment, you form an opinion almost immediately, and probably at that time, you don't have all the information yet. And once they realize they make a mistake, they apologize. Number 3. According to Abby, what made social media users feel okay to attack the kid? And our answer is C, their personal belief. So what statement does she make that support this answer? Well, she mentioned that people believe whatever they want to believe. If you see that video and that helps the narrative that you believe in, then I think we're quick to jump on that. So if what you see supports what you believe in, then it provides a justification for what we do. Number 4, when did this incident happen? It happened at the same place where Martin Luther King gave a speech. This is again from what Abby said. Those were the very steps where this happened, where he, Martin Luther King, gave the I Have a Dream speech back in 1963. Number 5, which statement is Abby likely to agree with? It's B. Hate speech hasn't disappeared. She made the statement that we're still here, and we are still experiencing hate from every walks of life. So that's why we can conclude that she would probably agree with the statement that hate speech still exists today. Number 6, what statement will Joy likely to agree with? It's A. A small negative event can have a lasting impact. So there's one sentence that she mentioned, or one quick remark that she made, and that was, a little evil goes a long way, don't you think? That expression means exactly what the answer was. So a small evil, a small negative event, it can have a great and lasting impact. Number 7, why does Sunny not believe the boy was telling the truth? It's because of his facial expression. She noted that in the video, he was smirking, even though he claimed that he was silently praying. And the last question, why is Sunny disappointed? It's because no adults diffused the situation. Let's have a look at what she said. She brought up these questions. Where were the chaperones, which are like the supervisors? Where were the adults? I thought it was such a teachable moment for everyone there. So she was saying that the adults were nowhere to be seen to stop or to intervene. So those are our answers for the 8 questions. How did you do? Let me know if you have any questions. You can leave your questions or feedback in the comments. And if you have a second, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel. Bye!